Here we go, ladies. Other side. Yep. Come on, girlies. That away. Here we go. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dalton. This is Armson Farms. Happy Monday morning. Start off with, we're going to have ourselves a great week. Looks like we've got a great week of weather ahead. Well, okay. Warm week of weather ahead. Got some rain coming, but for the most part, upper 50s, lower 60s. Wednesday, you got one day 45, but take what you can get. Yeah, on the docket for this week. We've got to get the corn planter hooked up, which means I've got to get the corn planting tractor off of our coon slinger, get that fully clean, detailed, ready to rock, get the GPS put into it. As I've said in previous videos, the corn planter shouldn't need much, but we're gonna get that home, get it greased. We're gonna test it, make sure all the fertilizer tubes are clear, make sure everything's dumping seed, make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to do. Got to get the seed tender home. I've got a couple totes of, I think it's leftover wheat seed on there still. So we got to get that home, get that cleaned out, get corn seed on that. Sorry, trying to do two things at once here. Yeah, basically just go through. I got to get my disc hooked up, which requires an excavator because it's parked on dirt. And even with something underneath the hitch, it's still sunk about a foot. I can't get the jack high enough to get it hooked up. So we're gonna use the excavator to lift that up and get that hooked on. Get that greased and ready to go. I mean, at this point, we're pretty much just waiting on the weather to break. Currently, it's 45, but it's raining. We got a fair amount of rain coming still, but it's what it is. Got to make the best of it. So yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, we'll see what happens today here, guys. Follow along, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's have some fun. All right, so we got this side all moved over. I'm gonna scrape this. Jack's gonna bring up some more sand to put sand back here. We bed this barn once a week. Well, we bed all of our barns once a week. This barn in particular has these sand saver mattresses in them. So rather than just being sand and dirt all the way down, we've got a foam mattress that sets 3 inches below the curb here. And it's just supposed to help save on sand. So we have a little bit less going into the lagoon, a little bit less we have to purchase. This pen in particular, this is a dry cow pen. We're saving over 50% of our sand in this pen, which is unbelievable. Our milk cow group that's up here over there, that's our fresh cow group, we're saving about 33%. So we used to use, in our other barn where there's full deep bedded sand, for the same amount of cows, we would use 3 loads a week. Up here, we use 2 loads a week. So it's pretty easy math there. We're saving 33% there, saving 50% here. So far, I would say that these sand saver mattresses have been a blessing. However, there's still plenty of sand in the lagoon. Sand will be sand, but the less sand to be sand is the better sand. Something like that. Yeah. So yeah, Jack's gonna bring that up. He's gonna hammer these guys out. Dry cows will be bedded for the week. I'm gonna walk out here in the rain, get the gate open, and we will start cleaning that fresh cow group. Because as you can see, they have gone to the parlor. So because I'm right here, I need you guys to settle an on-farm debate. What tractors look sweeter, 30 series or the 100 series? If you guys want to include 20 series, go for it. I think 10 series are basically the same as the 100 series. If you guys want to throw 20 series in, we don't have one to show you, but 30 series, 100 series. I'm not going to tell you which one I think is better. Leave in the comments. Honestly, looks aside, they're all my favorite. Anything pre-def is my favorite. I would love just a fleet of 100, 10s, 20s, 30s, or even a pre-def R series. There are pre-def R series, but I don't know. For the acres that we run, I think those are the ideal machines. Now, you get out west where you're cropping tens of thousands of acres, yeah, you probably want new stuff because you want warranties, you don't want reliability. Not that these aren't reliable, but again, if we were to start trying to shove 10,000 acres through these machines, yeah, they'd probably be less reliable than they are. But I just love them old tractors. I really do. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell. I almost just told you which ones I prefer, but leave in the comments. All right, well, the day's getting a complete 180. That happens. Those of you guys who watch my channel know that happens. Hair's getting a little gnarly. Jack called. He said, hey, we've been waiting to roll hay fields all spring. We did get rain for the last couple hours, but it didn't really add up to much. He's like, why don't you just go try it? He said, give Western New York Crop Management a call. Just make sure we're good. So I called them. They said we're good to go. They would actually recommend we go roll hay fields today or this week while we got weather. So we're gonna get that hooked up and we're gonna go roll some hay fields, which again, took me by surprise, but a day in the tractor sounds pretty nice. Sounds real nice. Gonna put the 8330 right here. We're gonna put this tractor on the one that's on the merger. We're gonna put this on the roller. I am gonna throw the GPS screen in this. I've never actually ran the GPS on this tractor. We've always ran that on other 8330, but to my knowledge, this one is all set up. All we need to do is I put the globe on it and put a screen in it. So we're gonna see if it works. If not, at least I know, and I can get somebody here to take a peek at it and let me know what I'm lacking to run GPS on that. I wouldn't be able to run it early season anyways. It would have to be after corn planting, because obviously we use our globe and our screen for corn planting. So it would have to be after that, which wouldn't be a big deal. But it would be cool to have another tractor capable, and then down the road, it'd be nice to get another globe, another screen, and just have it all set up. So, bracket, yeah, there's my GPS stuff. We're gonna get this out and go see if we can get it bolted in quick. All right, we're clipped on. I actually hooked the hoses upright for once. That's a first. Just checking the tires. This machine always seems to have one flat. Yeah, she got one over there that's might be able to make it to the shop. Get some air. They're both flat. Gosh darn it. Yeah, looks like we gotta get the truck up here with the air compressor. Always. This machine always has a tire somewhere flat. Jack's bringing me up the service truck right now, so we pump them up. That's what I was talking about on this Jack. It's got a tractor weight underneath it, and yeah, still sunk down in. This was all woods. Everything where all this equipment's parked, all the way down to the other side of that barn 2 years ago. We cleared, you can see where the woods are there. That line went straight across to about this pile of dirt. Yeah, so this was all woods. We cleared all of this because originally we were talking about running the barn in the other direction. This barn we were gonna run parallel with that barn. We decided not to do that for airflow reasons. So the way that the wind comes and hits the barn, it hits it at a better direction than down there. So the airflow is significantly better in this barn. But anyways, before we had decided to put the barn in this direction, obviously we had to clear. The barn was pretty much gonna go right where this tractor is, down to, you know, I don't know, you see that sturdy built curtain thing there, down to about there, and it's gonna go this way. And we were gonna have the lagoon beside it right here. So that's why we ended up clearing all of this. And then we ended up putting the lagoon down there for reasons of, hey, if we ever have to build another barn, our thought was to build it up here, parallel with that barn. And now this ground's pretty well cleared for that already. Obviously we'd have to bring it down still 8-10 feet, but we're actually going to start moving dirt from up here down to fill in where our old lagoon is, because they're not going to have enough fill dirt to fill that in. So yeah, we're going to start just taking all of this dirt here and try to get the level down closer to where that barn is. But anyways, where I was going with that story is, yes, this was woods. So even though it looks like it's a smooth, hard parking spot, when machines are real heavy and they sit over winter, stuff settles. So it's been, I wouldn't say a challenge, but there's a couple little headaches, like having to lift up implements because the jacks settle down into the ground so far. So yeah, other than that, that machine is hooked up. I just got to get it lifted up high enough to back that 9420 up and clip onto it. All right, we're gonna take this rig down to the shop. I got, the one tire was good, aired right up. The other tire's got a hole in the tube. So I'll see if I got a spare. I doubt it, but I will see. And if not, we'll have to make a trip to the tire shop and get it fixed, I guess. It's always something. It's always something, let me tell you what. All right, we are headed back from Perry now. The guys up at Saddam's Tire, they were able to get the tire right in, get it fixed. I had a lot of spares, but I didn't have any spares that size. I had a lot of 6-lug spares. I did have the rollers an 8-lug. I did have one 8-lug for the cattle trailer, but the center hole was obviously different. So took it to Saddam's, they got it right in. Also, we are on spring break this week, huh?
Yeah.
So what are you gonna help me do today? We gonna fix the tire first?
Yeah.
And then are you gonna help me run the tractor?
Yeah.
What's your job in the tractor?
To press the magic button.
To press the magic button. So last year, Reagan got to ride with me merging hay. She learned the merger box, and she also learned GPS. She learned to push the magic button, aka the GPS, resume button. So we're pretty excited to get out there and give it a shot. We're gonna start, there's a hayfield we'll actually be plowing under after first cutting that we spread manure on. We did put some ruts in it, not bad, but some. We're gonna go out and try to roll that first, just to try to knock those ruts down, just so we don't hurt the blades on our mower during first cutting. I know it seems silly to roll a hayfield that we're gonna plow under, but if it means getting another cutting of hay off of it before we plow it under, or having to plow it up and not being able to get that cutting of hay, every load of feed is another load of feed that we're gonna need. So that's what we're gonna do. Really, it's just a matter of time. Should be able to rip that field out in an hour. It's not overly big, and our roller's a 40 foot. I believe it's 40 foot. We're gonna find out once we get this GPS squared away. So we can really cover ground with it. So that's the plan, tentative plan, see how it goes. Did I get mud on my face?
No.
Oh, that's good. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, Reagan. You see that bolt right there?
Yeah.
Did you get that for me? Don't bonk your head on that metal.
Got it.
Thanks. Appreciate it. You wanna help me tighten these down? Have you ever ran one of these? See this button?
Yeah.
That's the trigger. So watch, you put it on. Like that. You wanna do it? No? What if I get your headphones? Is it just too loud? Okay. All right, come on up here. Sit your lollipop down.
Down?
There's that right there. All right, come here. All right, I'm gonna put it on there for you. Now you pull the trigger. Right there. Don't worry, it's not gonna hurt you. Pull, squeeze. Yeah, you got it. All right, you want to do another one?
I can just hear a little bit sound.
Okay. Next one. Next one. Hold on. Hold on. Just got to get it started first. All right, go for it. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Yep. Keep going. Okay. One more. Go ahead. All right, all done. Thank you for your help. Next time you can change the flat tire. Sound good?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's get right after it. Give them the rock on. All right. We're going to roll on out of here. There's a good chance it's going to be too wet. We're going to try it. That's the nature of farming in the spring. You try it. I have not been down in these woods shed hunting yet. We did have a very successful day yesterday shed hunting out behind my house. I'll see if I can put a picture in here. I don't know if I've ever put pictures on my videos before, but I think we got, there was one deadhead, a real small old buck, and then I think we got 4 or 5 pretty decent young 2.5-year-old sheds. So it was a really good day of shed hunting yesterday. But I'd love to get down in this swamp and look through here. I'm sure Jack's already been down there at least once, but it's one of my favorite parts about Roland's, keeping your eyes out for sheds, although being that it is a little bit later, stuff's a little green. Hey, whistle girl. We just found out that our new lollipop is actually a whistle, so that may have been a mistake on my part to get her that. This is where we're headed first. Like I said, right there in the middle, you can see we made a pretty decent set of tracks. And then right here where we unloaded the spreader. Other than that, it's just some little ripples. Nothing too crazy. But like I said, if it saves us, you know, a cut. Ooh, there's a, maybe it's a corn leaf. If it saves us even, if we get 10 loads off this field, it was worth hitting it with a roller. So we're gonna at least try it. All right, well, so far so good. We are just doing a perimeter on the outside. There was a wet hole over there that we fell into, but the roller smoothed the tracks right back out. This field has got a ton of grass in it, just because it is this would be its 5th year. Last year it was a 4th year seeding. So like I said, I'm not really that worried about hurting this at all. And this is a wetter field to begin with. So it's really not the end of the world. And if this field's as decent as it is, I'm actually somewhat, what's the word? Somewhat encouraged that some of these other fields will be just fine to go out and roll as well. So yeah, dropping the hammer. Feels good to be back in a field. That's for sure. I haven't tried the GPS yet. For whatever reason, this field's not coming up. So I might just strike an AB line and we'll go off of that. But generally the field should pop up on my field list and I can click on it and there'll be a preset AB already in the computer. But yeah, there's not one on there. So we'll just preset a line and go at it here. Well, I tried to set a track, but when I set track, new track, AB method, this comes up. I sent a picture of it out to one of the guy that helps us with GPS and see what he says. I don't know GPS enough to know. So I'm assuming it has something to do with the fact that this tractor's never ran it. So I don't know, I'm curious what he says, if it's something with a globe or what. But I guess we'll figure that out. Either way, we're just gonna kick it old school and go at it. All right, so after a conversation with Rob, there's no power to my receiver, so that must be something tractor related. So kind of a bummer. I was kind of really hoping this was just going to be a plug and play type of situation and we'd have another tractor that we could throw the GPS into, but looks like it's going to need at least some work to get that up and going. What's up, sis?
My lollipop.
It doesn't whistle no more because you ate it?
Yeah.
Oh, the struggle is real, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to get stocked up. Maybe the Easter Bunny will bring us lollipops. What do you think so? Gosh, I wonder what the Easter Bunny's gonna bring Daddy.
Ew, that's pink.
You're goofy. But good news, we got this whole lower half of the field done now. So next we're gonna head up there where those real bad ruts are and see, worst case scenario, we'll just mow around that spot, because everything I've done so far is more than smooth enough. There was a couple little ruts in through there. We hit them kind of at a couple different angles and got them smoothed right out. So yeah, feels good to be back rocking, that is for sure. All right, I just hit those wet hole there, a couple different angles. It definitely filled it in some, but it's still not going to be perfect by any means. So I'll let the mowers make their decision when they're out here. If they want to mow around it, they can. I mean, at minimum, I'd say they should at least pick their heads up some to get over those ruts. But yeah. Some of you guys are probably asking, Dalton, why did you guys spread on hay fields? Why did you guys make a mess? Well, like I said, we were planning on plowing it under anyways. And then there was also a really decent day. Like, the ground was pretty dry when we were spreading, except for these wet holes, which there was no real way of anticipating it was going to happen. So also we were able to put about 800,000 gallons of manure on this field, which means there's 800,000 less gallons of manure in my storage that I've got to move in the next month when it's go time. This year is going to be a prime example. For those of you guys who are always wondering, like, why not save your manure? Use it right at the right time, right when you need to, in the spring when conditions are perfect. Well, this is the prime example of a spring that drags on and drags on and drags on. It's going to be May in 2 weeks. We've got 700 acres of corn to plant before May 15th to May 20th. We've got to get that stuff planted, because May 15th to May 20th, we start harvesting our triticale. That usually takes 3 to 4 days to get done. Then after that, bam, then I've got to put manure on the 200 plus acres of that ground that I've got to do. So we'll have to get manure out on that, plow it, plant it. It's a whole big cycle. At this farm, we prefer to be done planting corn by June 1st. That's the goal. The goal always used to be Memorial Day. That was growing up. That was kind of one of Dad's things. Memorial Day, if you could have your first cutting in the bunk and your corn all planted, that's another thing. So once triticale's done, we generally also dive right into first cutting, which means in a 2-week span, we've got 200 acres of triticale to harvest, 3 million gallons of manure to move, 500 to 600 acres of alfalfa to harvest, and then another 500 to 600 acres of corn to get planted, all in a couple weeks. Now, is it the end of the world if we get into the first week in June and we're still planting corn? No, it's not the end of the world. Is it the end of the world if we're into June before our first cutting's done? Yes, it is. Alfalfa is fidgety, and as soon as those purple blossoms start to come on those plants, your quality tanks quickly and in a hurry, which means everything in the spring has to be done in a very timely fashion. Hence rolling hay fields right now. Right now, it's kind of a do or die. Either you're going to do it or you're just going to skip it this year and you're not going to do it. I think the benefit's going to far outweigh the negatives, because after seeing how this field is, even this field being a very wet field, I really don't think we're going to have any issues on our other fields. There might be a wet hole or two, but if I do sink a little bit, the roller will smooth it right back out. I don't think it's going to hurt the plant at all. Western New York crops said the plants aren't big enough where rolling it would hurt it. They said they would recommend we go do it. So they're the experts, and I'm all for getting after it and getting stuff done. Because like I said, springtime is hectic and you got to go, and there's a lot to do. So the faster you can get rolling, the faster you can get after it. So that was a long-winded reason of why we put manure on this field that we're going to plow under anyways, because I'm sure someone will comment, you made a mess of your hay field, was that really worth it? Short answer, yes, it is. Yes, it was absolutely worth it. So, yeah, hammering, just hammering. Alrighty, well, we are about done here, and I've lost my job. Huh, how you making out? Yeah? Alright, well, she thought she wasn't going to learn anything on spring break. And here we are. We're learning, aren't we? Alrighty, start turning us around here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah. Okay, now start going that way. Other way. All right, now head her straight to the road. There. Well, minimal damage. We just got to learn to turn just a little bit faster, that's all, huh? All right, take her straight. I'm going to take a nap, okay? All right, sounds good. All right, well, we got that field finished up there. Headed down to the next one. Let's see if I can get you guys kind of squared away here. Next field's right across the road, but it's a big one. We're going to roll into about a 120-acre field here. So that'll take up a good portion of the day. It's after lunch now. I dropped my daughter off with my wife. My wife had a couple meetings this morning, so that's why she was here riding with me. But she was ready to go help Mom at home with some stuff, so she is there and we are here. It's always... Hold on, we're going to unfold her here. I love getting to bring the kids out with me. If there's one thing I do in life, literally the only thing I successfully am able to do is raise kids who know how to do things and aren't completely brain dead, then I lived a good life. That's all I want. I just want them to understand how to fix things, how things work, reality. Don't want them thinking they're animals. That's a good start these days. But, I mean, they're a little bit young. I mean, Reagan's 4. She was the one that was just riding with me, and then my other son's 3. My other son turns 1 in May, so and we're all done there. 3's enough. 3's enough for us, but I just like my biggest fear in life is having kids who don't understand how the world works, who don't understand how to fix things. Like I said, just being able to work with your hands, work with your brain. It doesn't even need to be with your hands, but just be able to see something that's wrong and say, okay, this is how we're going to fix it, or this is how we're going to try and fix it. I don't want them to be afraid to dive into stuff and learn like that. So just getting, you know, like I said, she's only 4, but just getting her out here with me and working and, you know, fixing flat tires and learning how to operate equipment and all that. I understand she's still a little bit young, but that's like my biggest goal and my biggest fear is having kids who can do stuff and the fear of being kids who can't do stuff. So, yeah. That's that. But she was pumped. She loves getting out here. After 3 hours, though, any kid starts to get bored with stuff like this. So, here, let me show you guys quick. Got all the deer out here on the hillside. Just enjoying a little wheat snack, I guess. Also, up there, you guys can't see it, we're gonna cut cross lots because it's either a white piece of plastic or it's a pretty decent deer shed. We're gonna cut cross lots while I got my eyes on it right now. Yeah, they're out there chilling. One thing about rolling, you can't really screw it up too bad, I guess. That might be a piece of plastic. More than likely is, but you shed hunt enough, you start to understand that the antlers are a different shade of white. Yeah, that's just garbage. Gosh darn it. Yep, false alarm, just a piece of garbage. But antlers literally will look that white when they're in the field. They're really easy to pick out. It just takes a while to get used to knowing what you're looking for. But once you know that shade of white, shed hunting's relatively easy. Unless, of course, you know, people throw their trash out of their car and it gets in your field. That's fun too. So we're gonna keep hammering here. Like I said, this is a big field. this is wheat down here where those deer are. So that means that this summer that'll be getting seeded. This is a second year alfalfa. And then there's a little section up there beyond the trees that's new seeding. So, you know, this year we'll work that new seeding with this field. So, you know, that'll make the 120, I think that's 24. So that'll make it 144 acres. And then once this one here gets seeded down, so next year we'll have a year where all three of these fields are the same year or the same crop. And, you know, that'll add on. I think this field here is like 14. So that'll be quite a field of hay because it wraps around and it goes a long ways down there along the road. So yeah, that's going to be really fun. Big fields can get boring just because they are so big, but as far as efficiency goes and not having to fold up and unfold and fold up and unfold and move, and same thing with the chopper, fold and unfold and all that, big fields are the way to go. They're awesome. Moving manure is way more enjoyable in big fields. I love it. Yeah, you see this is a new seeding. Those of you guys who followed me the first month, I had a YouTube channel. That was one of the first videos I did, was drilling this field here. All in all, that looks pretty solid. It's a little skip down there, but not from me. I just mean, the alfalfa didn't really come up great, but I would like to roll that. I am kind of curious and slightly afraid of being wet in there, but we'll see. The only real wet spots, I think there's a dip up here. So yeah, maybe we'll make a pass or two in there at some point. It is 68 degrees out right now. So maybe here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the big field first, and then we'll come down to it, because it's amazing what breezy and 70 will do throughout the course of, you know, a few hours. So all right, rock on. Right, well, we just put the bow on this big bear here. Kind of gonna run along the edge. Yeah, this field I really didn't find much any wet at all. There was one little spot in a low point of the field. Honestly, I probably could have told you it was gonna be wet. That was wet, but I mean, I didn't like make tracks or anything. Like kind of like right in this spot right here, low spot in the field, but it didn't hurt it. I mean, that was nothing but grass there anyways. So, or like right here, but honestly, there's no hay that grow there anyways. This ditch isn't really a ditch on the side of the road like it should be. So kind of all the water just flows off the road down into here, and then it finds its way to that spot because that's the low point of the field. So yeah, all in all, I'm really happy with how this day is going. We are gonna go try that new seeding part off the lower end of this and see. If I sink at all, I'm just gonna get the heck out of there. But as long as I'm not making tracks, we're gonna give the old college try. And honestly, the sky has looked like kind of scary for most of the day. So not sure when that's gonna break, but either way, we've got over 200 acres. Well, yeah, we're approaching 200 acres done. We'll have over 200 acres done by the end of the day. So rocking on. All right, I gotta admit, I'm quite impressed. I haven't left a mark in this field, even in the wet spot. So gives me hope. Gives me hope for sure. Spring's on the horizon. I actually joked with my wife at lunch. So every year it's like, it's not this bad of weather, but it's not ready. The ground's not ready. Nothing's ever ready. So we're kind of hemming and hawing. You know, Grandpa's calling from Florida, like, how's the ground looking? When I get home, am I going to be able to plant? It's always a big thing. And I was telling her, we were looking at the weather, and like, we got a few more days of rain ahead of us. And then like 4 days before Grandpa gets home, 70, windy, sunny. I was like, you just watch. He'll be home a week from now, and somehow things will be ready to go and we'll be planting corn. It happens every year where it's like, gosh, doom and gloom, it's dark, it's snowing, it's raining, it's whatever, and then Grandpa's home and it's time to go. And we look like idiots. It happens every single year because we tell him it's not ready, and the day he gets home, it is ready. I'm anticipating that happening again, judging by the way that the forecast is looking. So, and if that's the case, I hope that's the case, because that means we're going to be rocking and rolling in 8 to 10 days. And all things considered, that's really not far-fetched anymore. We have planted corn the last week in April, the last 3 years in a row. So this year, if it's not till the first week in May, that's really not the end of the world. But I'm just saying, we're knocking on the door, guys. We're knocking on the door. I'm jacked up. Today's got me happy just because I'm back out in the field and we are getting something done that we've wanted to get done for a while. So, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But having said that, guys, it is 5:15. When I get this field done, we're going to call it a day. We're going to head home. It's karate night. My daughter just got her first red stripe on her belt. It's kind of a big deal. I'm basically living with a young female Jackie Chan. So that's super exciting. But anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it an end to the video here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you stick around. Keep watching, guys. We're almost into exciting stuff. We're almost to exciting stuff. This is exciting to me. To you guys, you're like, oh, you're just rolling hayfield. But to me, this is exciting. We're back in the field. Feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. It's warm out. I got the air conditioner on. Yes. So, keep watching, keep viewing. Tell your friends about the Goofy Dairy Farmer on YouTube. We'll see you guys in the next one, guys. Rock on.